Astronauts of the past 45 years have all returned to Earth, struggling to convey the enormity of what they have discovered, and with their perceptions clearly changed. To be able to extend that privilege to people from all walks of life has been a long-held ambition at Virgin.
Coming up 10 seconds, Brad. Legs look good at low. Okay, start the nose down trim. Looking good in 20 seconds.
The important thing about today's accomplishment is this is not an end, it's just a very good beginning.
Well, hello, I'm Richard Branson. We've been fortunate enough to have achieved some pretty extraordinary things at Virgin over the years, but perhaps none quite as amazing as what you'll see in the next few minutes. Probably like many of you, I can still clearly remember sitting with my mum and dad, my two sisters at our family home in England back in 1969, watching those live black and white pictures of two men who had travelled to another world. I was spellbound and determined there and then that I would one day follow them to space. It's taken a little longer than I imagined, but thanks to Burt Rutan, Spaceship One, and those flawless history-making X-Prize flights in 2004, Virgin Galactic is now well on its way to becoming the world's first commercial space line. The day that Burt won the X-Prize was a hugely significant one for us. When it was all over, I remember chatting to Brian Binney, the pilot on that epic flight. He's an enormously experienced and talented test pilot and a master of understatement.
It's got all the right elements to excite the people for all the right reasons. The ride up is momentous, the view at the top is hugely rewarding. The ride back down is pretty spectacular as well. Pictures are pretty dramatic, but the eye is so much more dynamic. You combine that with the other things going on, the weightlessness, it's pretty wonderful. The rocket motor ride is pretty memorable as well. You're not going to soon forget that, especially ignition.
Before you ignite it, you're indicating 140 knots or so. And within 10 seconds or 11 seconds, you're supersonic. So, you get 3 Gs on your back instantly when it lights. And boy, that first 10 seconds is about the most dynamic flying I've ever done.
This wave of energy flows through the vehicle, and it's eye-watering.
It is eye-watering. When you look out the window and you see the curvature of the Earth, and you can see the edge, along the edge of the Earth, you can see this thin blue line that is the atmosphere. And the colors and the textures on the ground, and it's a mind-blowing thing to see. It really is. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's been in the shuttle or on the space station knows the same thing, but I'd never seen that before, and it really was a remarkable experience.
We're designing our spacecraft so that each of our passengers will have the room and the freedom to enjoy the amazing sensation of weightlessness. Large panoramic windows will allow you to see clearly the curved Earth over 100 kilometers below.
While you're up there, you got 4 to 5 minutes of zero G and an enjoyment of an environment you've never experienced before. You've maybe seen it on covers of magazines, and now you're experiencing it firsthand.
Right.
It's a delight, it's a wonder,
And I'm sure with everybody being loose in there, they'll be letting go M&Ms and taking pictures of each other. And I mean, it'll just be the most fabulous thing that you could imagine.
Our suborbital space trips promise to be the most intense and wonderful experiences that our passengers have ever had. We have the right technology, we have committed the funding, and importantly, we bring an enormous amount of operational expertise that comes from years of carrying millions of passengers in comfort and safety on our aircraft and trains. This experience is at the heart of our ability to offer a breathtaking journey in an environment which will be as safe as we can possibly make it, and of course, in the style that Virgin is so rightly recognized for. Safety is and will always be our guiding star. and we're helped enormously in that objective by Bert Rutan's genius for design and construction.
When you air launch almost out of the atmosphere, if you have any issues with the rocket engine, you shut it down, you dump the fuel, you glide in and make a normal landing. That's huge, that's extremely important. We are in the process of optimizing, absolutely optimizing the experience that you will have when you fly in space. And it's just going to be fabulous. Spaceship One has a unique feathering configuration. It can come into the atmosphere at any angle and it'll straighten itself out without the pilot having to fly that or without a computer having to do it. And this is the first horizontal landing, runway landing spacecraft that's ever had this feature, so we're immune to accidents caused by flight control failure during re-entry.
We'll also dramatically improve the environmental impact that has been associated to space travel in the past. We'll use clean and safe technology that will be thousands of times more environmentally friendly than any previous manned space vehicle. I spotted this cover of an Australian popular science magazine which had run a great story on Virgin Galactic. Holidays in space, book now. It seems almost unbelievable, but it is the reality. Every day, people from all walks of life and many different countries are making reservations with us to experience space for themselves.
Hi, my name is George Whiteside,
And I'm Loretta Hidalgo.
and we're going to be riding in this plane. Ever since I was a lad, I wanted to go to space. I used to read the science fiction stories and dream about flying through space, and now it looks like, courtesy of Richard Branson, it's going to be possible.
Growing up in Soviet Union, I had two dreams: go to Disneyland and go into space.
My family thinks I'm a little bit tipsy, but that's okay. I know this is something that later on they're going to look back and say, I can't believe my father did that, or my grandfather did it, and so forth.
Our first Virgin Galactic astronauts will be booking their own place in history as pioneers of a new space age. The video and photographic images they will bring back from the journey will be theirs to share with their children and grandchildren, helping to reignite the excitement for exploration and discovery, and a permanent record of their part in the story of space. I'll be going to space. What's more, my parents and children will be coming with me. Best of all, we, and I hope you, will be traveling on a spaceship owned and operated by Virgin Galactic.
You know Richard will do it right. He's just an incredible entrepreneur and a very spectacularly successful airline controller. And I think to run a space line, you need someone with that kind of experience.
It's very important to have his experience, his clout, his personality, and it's just fabulous to have him on board. You bet.
Well, I hope you'll be as excited and inspired by Virgin Galactic's mission as I am. And I'll see you up there.